Have you ever had to fight that negative inner voice? You know, the one that tells you you're gonna fail, you're not good enough, you can't do it. I've had my share of these thoughts over the years, and you know what? These thoughts still infect my mind. But guess what? I shut them down and put them in their place. So in this video, we're going to explore some ways that you too can shut down those negative thoughts and explore the practice of building a more positive mindset. So here's my story about how I'm combating the negative inner voice. So whenever something didn't work out, I was tempted to feel extremely disappointed in myself and in the situation. Whether it was at work, in my relationship, in my business, in my friendships. So when things don't work out, I tend to get disappointed, as we all do. I noticed that when I wasn't feeling at my best, that I tended to veer toward negativity rather than optimism. So there's this cloud of depression or sadness or heaviness that would just kind of settle on my mind and on my mood. I was beginning to see the glass half empty rather than half full. This is where I had to be really careful, because this is where hopelessness begins to set in, and I started to feel like I was losing my joy and my peace. And those two things I can't afford to lose. I have to have my joy and my peace. It's worth more to me than a paycheck. And if I don't have those two things, I don't have very much in life. In order to have a good quality life, I need to have my joy and I need to have my peace. So for me, this is where my faith steps in. This is where I really start to dig into my faith and trusting in God. I read the Bible, I spend time with God in prayer and meditation on scripture. And then I also read a lot of self-help books, because I think it's important to have a lot of teachers in your life. So those teachers come in the form of self-help, people who have been there, done that, and understand how things work. So I love reading books that help me figure out how to better myself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. At the end of the day, we still have to deal with the cloud of doubt. We still have to deal with that negativity, that inner voice and that inner critic that tends to pull us down in life. So how do we deal with that? There are a lot of things that could be going wrong in your life. Perhaps it's your marriage, your relationship, your kids are acting out. Maybe you have these unexpected bills that you didn't know you were gonna have to pay. Maybe it's a health issue. It's going to be really easy for those icky thoughts to kind of permeate your mind and then settle into what we call a mindset. And that's what we want to avoid. So how can we avoid the negative toxins that come into our minds to try to change our mindset? All right, the first step is just awareness. Once you recognize what's happening, these thoughts are going into your mind, and they're not your thoughts, they're negative thoughts. They're not thoughts that you want to hold on to and claim as your own. So whenever you catch yourself thinking negatively, just pause and take a note of it. And this will help you to become more mindful in your thoughts. Awareness is the first step to understanding what's going on in your mind. Part of that habit of mindfulness is to understand what's going on in your head without judgment, just kind of like you are a third party, you are a representative of your mind, and you're stepping back objectively and looking at those thoughts that are coming into your mind. So pause, reflect, and think about what's happening at the moment that those negative thoughts are starting to insert themselves into your mind. So a thought is just that, it's a thought. So you can take time to either write down that thought you had so that you can make a decision about that thought, or you can talk it out with a friend or a therapist. Another thing to do is to reframe your thoughts, because a lot of times there is really no evidence to support the thoughts that are coming into your mind. So ask yourself, is there any evidence that supports these thoughts? Often our negative self-talk is based on assumptions rather than facts. So we want to replace these negative assumptions with positive affirmations and more balanced and realistic perspectives. This is something we have to practice. It's something that I continue to practice every single day, because believe you me, I'm going through this at the very moment where I have to combat these negative thoughts. So that's what I do. I practice objectively asking myself whether or not these thoughts are valid, and even if they seem to be, I write down those negative thoughts. I talk about it with someone, like a therapist or a friend, and then I try to reframe those thoughts. How can I see the statement made in that thought as something positive? How can I switch it up a little bit just to make it work for me in a positive way? So earlier on, I wrote, it's too hard. Those are thoughts that come into my mind quite often when I'm trying to do something like this. Creating a channel, creating a YouTube channel is not easy. Creating podcasts are not easy. Raising my kids isn't easy. Having a positive, healthy relationship with my spouse isn't easy. These are not easy things to do. So when I get to the point where I'm saying it's too hard, I need to reframe that, cross it out, and have another way to view the way I want to see my life. So I like to tell myself I am capable. Even though it's hard, I'm still capable of doing hard things. And the other lie that comes into my mind sometimes is I'm not qualified. And it doesn't matter how much I think I've accomplished, I always feel that I'm falling short in some way. So I can just cross that out. Even though I'm not qualified, I can handle this. I can do it. I can do it. And so I want you to practice doing that. Whenever you have a thought that comes into your mind that is not healthy for you, it keeps you from moving forward. It prevents you from trying new things because you're afraid that those lies are true when in fact they're actually not. If you push past them and reframe it, then I want you to practice doing what I just did. Reframe those negative thoughts. The third practice is self-compassion. You have to treat yourself with honor and with kindness and understanding. Wouldn't you treat a friend that way? So treat yourself that way. When you make a mistake, and you will, I make them all the time, we all do, just remind yourself that it's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. Self-compassion helps you to build your resilience against negativity. It's always good to engage in activities that helps you to feel good about yourself. Exercising, spending time with friends, doing a hobby, something that you really enjoy. Try doing something that you're good at for a few minutes a day, and then eventually longer and longer periods of time. And this can help you to elevate your mood and your mental state of being so that those negative thoughts don't have time to linger around in your mind. So find what makes you happy and do it regularly. Finally, you need to seek support when you need it. That means talking to a friend, again, talking to a therapist, talking to someone to just get it out. This can help you to deal with those negative self-talk, and they can help you as well by affirming you and helping you to see the positives. So make sure you have good friends, supportive friends, people that are going to build you up and not tear you down and agree with your negativity. We know that research shows that keeping things bottled up inside can lead to stress, to mental and emotional stress. So we want to get it out and talk about it. Keeping secrets is stressful and it increases the risk of illness. So when we talk about our issues, we know we're going to get better just mentally relieving some of the anxiety that we've held inside for so long. So it's imperative that as part of our mental health that we talk it out. So any negative thoughts that are going through your mind, talk it out with someone. Relieve yourself of the anxiety and the stress of the negative thoughts that are just circling around in your mind, never shutting up, never giving you relief. From the moment you open your eyes and wake up in the morning, there goes the negative thoughts. To the time you lay yourself down for bed at night, there goes the negative thoughts, keeping you up at night, causing you all kinds of issues, keeping you from sleeping, keeping you from making the right decisions, causing confusion. There's so much negative impact as a result of negative thoughts. So if we can tackle those thoughts, deal with them head on, and find a solution for eliminating or at least alleviating a lot of those thoughts, and we're going to be doing ourselves a great service by bringing health and healing to our minds, which is a very important part of our being. Because we are made of body, soul, and spirit, and our mind is part of that soul, and we need to make sure our mind is intact and healthy. So by doing all of these things, I hope that you will find the strength you need to keep going every day, no matter what's coming your way. And I hope that you're able to alleviate some of those negative thoughts by using these tips. So if this video has helped you, I would love for you to hit that bell, subscribe to this channel for more content like this. And I can't wait to come back and support you and give you more tips on health and wellness and living your best life.